welcome to Shonen Flop Chibi, a First Impressions mini-episode where we talk about the first chapter of the series we'll be covering in depth next week. I'm Jordan, and with me today, as usual, is my co-host, David. Say hi, David.
Hi, David.
What series we covering this week, David?
It's a series named after you, my guy, because we're reading Bill King, you absolute royal.
Oh, yeah, I'm the king of fucking buildings, as we all know, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like Philip Glass.
What?
Oh, he was a composer, never mind.
Frank Lloyd Wright is probably who you were thinking of.
Sure.
Okay, anyway, this is by the author Shimabukuro Mitsutoshi, who is well known for producing a popular series called Toriko, as well as getting arrested for soliciting sex from a 16-year-old.
Yeah, my friend was like, why are you covering a series? And I was like, that's a good point, but it's too late. I'm sorry, Sarah. But you were probably right.
I mean, he's already, like, one of the most popular mangaka in the world. It's not like we're giving him more exposure by covering him on fucking Shonen Flop. Especially after this episode. This episode is not going to drive his reader count, probably. No spoilers, but, just saying.
Yeah, that's true. Man, this is making me think if we should ever do Actage, as Tucker said it's apparently pronounced.
Oh, man, I don't know. Like, on one hand, it wasn't a flop. It just got canceled because the author actually sexually assaulted somebody. So, yeah. I don't know. That one's not as much in our wheelhouse. I don't think we really have as much of a solemn duty to cover that.
Well, maybe we'll make it a Twitter poll. Actually sounds like a fun one.
At least the artist in Actage didn't do anything bad.
Yeah, bless her heart.
Bless her heart. So this was based on a one-shot, and it ran between November 16th, 2020 to April 12th, 2021. It only got 20 chapters, and man, I'm not shocked at all to hear that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's a chapter for every year the dude should have gotten.
Hey, it's true. Without further ado, I'm going to get into the plot summary now. Two aspiring carpenter brothers are stuck on an island shaped like a hammer. It's called Hammer Island, by the way. Together, they were left there by their teacher, a master carpenter named Shovel, who told them he would be back in 2 years, during which they were meant to build their own houses. 3 years later, Tonkachi, the older brother, is still struggling to build a house that will withstand the house eaters, who are just roving gangs of trolls that love destroying houses, because I guess they just love to. This leaves him running to live with his younger brother Renga, whose house is strong and solid. They want to be strong enough to see the Build Kings, ancient marvels of engineering that have withstood impossibly harsh conditions. However, the boss of the trolls attacks and destroys Renga's house, and Tonkachi strikes back, defeating the troll boss and saying that while he can't build a house, he can build peace. Immediately afterwards, they see a ship on the horizon signaling that their master has finally returned. That's the first chapter. I mean, there's a lot of other bullshit that happens there, but none of it's, like, relevant in the slightest.
Yeah, the series, yeah, that's about right.
So, I guess we gotta talk about the thing that jumps out at first, which is the art is weirdly really ugly. Like, you mentioned earlier that it looks like an American parody of anime, and I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
This entire series just feels like a weird parody of anime in general.
Yeah, it's really in that weird uncanny valley where the person, like, knows what anime looks like, but they don't really know any of the techniques, which, of course, makes no sense, because this dude has been drawing anime for, like, 30 years.
I actually went back and checked out the first chapter of Toriko. It's fine. It doesn't have any of these issues. I actually really like the art in Toriko. I mean, obviously, fuck the guy who made it, but, like, clearly he has skill. I have no clue what the fuck happened here.
I mean, like, Toriyama just really can't draw the way he used to, so maybe Toriko just, like, really permanently damaged how he could draw, and he just refuses to be, like, what's his name, with Samurai 8 and just have someone take the wheel.
Maybe? Because, Jesus Christ, at the very least, he should have done that. It's very strange, because it's an art style that seems very overworked. Like, you can't say this guy did not put effort into the art. It just doesn't look good.
Well, there are still some laziness, like he reuses panels. When the house is blown down, he just copy and paste the guy 3 times.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, like I checked, the art does not change in the 3 panels. He just draws stuff over it.
This is really fucking something. I don't know, like, some other shit that happens that I would really like to talk about. So they say, like, oh, we were abandoned, left here on the island, the only people here. But, like, the island is filled with, like, all these animals who can speak English and have very human personalities, which kind of just undercuts the idea of being stranded.
I was really hoping for like a man versus nature perspective, and then they're like, "Oh, here's the trowel fucking penguins that all can talk."
Yeah, and all the animals can talk, which just makes it feel like weirdly fucked up.
Right?
That the master builder is like, finally, people. And it's like, what, are they not people?
He's like, I can't fuck these things without being in an ethical dilemma.
Hey!
Man, fuck that dude.
Like, I think what he was trying to do was like, okay, so if I just like overload you with anime tropes, you'll get it because you're used to anime, but like it doesn't fucking work. Like carpenters aren't like this. It's such a very strange thing to base it on. And then like if you're gonna do something about carpentry, I would like the powers to be based on carpentry, but the main character is a shitty carpenter. He's just a fighter. He only swings a fucking hammer. So it's like, why is he even a carpenter?
I like how this character literally embodies the if all you have is a hammer, or what is the expression? It's if all you have is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail.
Pretty much.
It's literally like, bro, let's make an anime. Let's make a manga about an expression. Next chapter, there's gonna be 2 birds. And he's gonna have 1 rock. Be like, watch this.
The main character here is just really annoying.
Well, actually, this is now making me think that'd be a great manga where every character's power is based on expressions.
It'd be a better manga than Build King, I can tell you that.
There's a guy who can like transform. That's more than one way to skin a cat. Or
oh god,
man,
step on a crack, break your mother's back, and it's like a stand battle where like cracks appear everywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure Araki's taking note. There's just a dude who can turn people into trees. Make like a tree and leave.
He just disappears when he turns into a tree.
Yeah. And all that's behind is like just one leaf like falling to the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck, if this is the main episode, be like, dude, let's just pitch this manga idea and stuff.
That's what I was just about to say. Listener, if you can't tell, we have already completely stopped talking about Build King and started talking about a completely different idea. It's because Build King sucks.
I don't have any positives. I didn't write up any positives down about the series besides, I guess it was a little funny, and the tool aesthetic is original. I just think everything looks absolutely hideous.
I have a couple interesting positives to say about this. The houses that they built look like helmets. Mm-hmm. I don't really know why. And Tonkachi's doesn't look like that because he's a shitty builder. I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, Ranga's good house looks like a medieval helmet. And then the other thing is that, like, the Build Kings themselves, what we see of them kind of look cool. Like, this guy, his strength is kind of saying, check out this mysterious thing that you've never heard of. And it's like a strange combinations of things. Like, I think they have, like, a giant condo mountain range.
I was noticing that. They're like, we have the hell prison and the giant, like, castle and the turtle, and we have some nice condos. Yeah. I was like, so is there, like, a dude who does, like, the electrical wiring for the condos, or...
Exactly. It raises so many questions. Are these ruins from, like, ancient times? Is it, like, are these the equivalent of, like, the Great Pyramids? Like, that part I was kind of interested in, but
the condos, how do you fucking decide? How did no one be like, dude, why the fuck are you saying ancient ruined condos and now acting like that completely destroys any sense of grandiose to this explanation?
I was kind of into that as a concept.
But he led with it, so you know it wasn't on purpose. Yeah. If he said it last, or second to last, then you know it would have been a joke.
Well, it's also just like, that doesn't make the manga better. It's basically the deal. There were a couple humor notes that hit. And yeah, some of the aesthetic is interesting. They have, like, chocolate nails to eat. But, like, also, he goes way too into the chocolate nails. He wants you to think that they're really interesting. And, like, dude, you already made a series about food. Like, this one's supposed to be about something different and you're failing miserably at it. This is just bad. This is just really shitty. Like, I'm shocked at how shitty it is.
This dude just clearly thought he could ride his success.
Oh, and also, I would like to say, there are moments in here that I was really confused until I realized it was supposed to be a flashback.
Oh, yeah.
The only indication that it was a flashback was that the panels suddenly changed shape and like, their corners got softer. And that was supposed to be identification that, this is a flashback. And, like, no, I need a little more than that, because this was very confusing.
Dude, don't forget how they had multiple flashbacks that weren't in chronological order because they show 3 years ago and then they later on show 5 years ago. So I'm really fucking confused about the timeline of events.
Yo, it made no sense. It was so hard to follow. That might be like one of the bigger issues here. It's a difficult to follow thing. Everything is really busy. There feels like a huge lack of focus. Like he wanted to do so many things. Like it isn't enough that these are carpenters. There's also these weird roving band of trolls and these weird ass fucking shovel penguins. And I don't know why they're trowel penguins. It's dumb. This is bad.
It's just so bad. And it's also like, fuck, what was I gonna say?
Oh, well, it's fucking stupid that Tonkaichi is then like, oh, well, I can't build a house, but I can build peace. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I audibly said shut the fuck up when I read that.
I remember now. This series also didn't teach us a single thing about carpentry.
Right, yeah, and if you're gonna do a series like this, you at least show some kind of knowledge. You at least connect it to some real-world carpentry, because this doesn't actually feel like carpentry. It feels like weird house magic.
There could have just been a fucking scene where there's like one of the turtle people or whatever trying to hammer something, and they're like, oh, I hit my finger while hammering a nail. And it's like, oh, well, you hold the nail like this, and that's how you go. And it's like a page, and you're like, wow, here's something that actually shows this author knows anything about carpentry.
This chapter would have been way better if instead of just fending for themselves, they spent the time helping the townspeople and like rebuilding things. And there's like a throwaway line that implies that that's what Renga does, but we weren't following Renga. We were following his dumbass brother who can't build shit.
And he's just a Goku ripoff.
He's like a Goku parody. He's like a Goku fucking archetype. It sucks.
Do you think this series was originally a parody and like they changed it, or...
I'm not giving the author that much credit.
I can't tell.
I think he had one idea, and then had another idea, and then had another idea, on and on and on and on. It doesn't work together. It doesn't. Well, let's move on. David, what do you think is going to happen next in this fucking comic?
Continue to be complete dog shit. But if I had to make some predictions, mine is I actually think the boat will not be related to his master, and it's going to be like a fake off. The next one is they will never actually go to a build king. And the third is the nail on the main character's face will like change in some way as he activates some like superpower he has innately.
I think those are all pretty solid guesses. I don't think the boat will be his master. I said the boat is going to have someone that they aren't quite expecting. And the guy on the boat is then going to say, Renga, you're a great builder. Leave this dumbass Tonkaichi and come with me. And he's going to be like, no way, he's my brother. I can't go without him. And my last one is, unlike you who thinks they're going to see no build kings, I think they're going to see one build king in the last chapter, probably.
Wow, fuck you too, buddy. You're like the dude on Price is Right, where I'm like, all right, we'll bet $95. And you're like, I'll bet 96.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
I bet they'll see -1 build kings.
Yeah, they see something so shitty that it erases the memory of one build king in the world.
What if we do actually just not read more of this, and in the main episode, we just start talking about the Bleach one-shot?
And we just never say anything. We just never reference Build King in the whole time.
Yeah. This is the series that I wish we could have done that where we just talked about Chainsaw Man instead of what the actual series was, because it was just so dog shit.
This is just... What the fuck can you even say about it?
If this first chapter is the quality, this could potentially be the worst series I've ever read in Shonen Flop.
It really might be. It's bad on, like, every level. Like, at least Phantom Seer had decent art.
It really did. So, Jordan, though, this is really making me wonder, though, would you read 10 more chapters of Build King?
God, no, dude. A little bit of backstory. I tried reading this, like, months ago once, and didn't even make it halfway through the first chapter. This is not gonna be fun, reading the rest of the series. This is gonna suck.
This series can eat my ass. So, hell no. You can tell the series was so bad, Shonen Jump didn't even try and inflate how long it got to run for, like they did with Samurai 8. They just said, no, this fucking sucks, bro. You're on your own with this.
Yeah, and that is really saying something, because as we mentioned before, the mangaka is incredibly popular. He's like one of the most popular mangaka, like, in Japan at least, possibly in like all of the manga reading world.
He's friends with Oda. Oda literally could have said, Shonen Jump, don't cancel this shit.
He literally made a crossover series with Oda.
Everyone knew this series was fucking dog shit. This is the George Lucas prequel trilogy of manga.
No, this series had to be really bad to get Shonen Jump to cancel it this soon, and it was really bad.
If only that could be our power word.
God, yeah. Speaking of which, David, what is your power word?
My power word is jail. I was thinking about that, just because the main monster got in prison. They talked about prison in the series, and the mangaka really probably should have gone to jail for what he did.
Yeah, he should have. I think I looked it up, and I think his sentence got suspended for 3 years, probably because he was popular. I don't fucking know.
No, he did this before he made Toriko. This was like in 2002, and I think Toriko came out in like 2008.
Oh, no, that's a good point. Yeah, he just got his sentence suspended, yeah.
So I'm honestly not sure.
So he's been like this from the beginning, basically.
Well, maybe he's improved as a person.
Yeah, you gotta hope. I mean, I'm not gonna stick up for this guy, but you gotta hope that in the almost 20 years since that happened, he's improved. I don't fucking know. But yeah, my power word is dilapidated. Because, man, this series just feels like a fucking wreck. It ironically needs to be broken into pieces and rebuilt into something completely different. And yet, I don't know if there's anything there that you could make a good house out of.
No. This is like trying to build a house out of shit.
Oh, yeah. That's the tagline for the manga.
House of shit. There we go.
Wait. More like Shit King.
Bro, my 6-word summary legit is probably going to be like, don't read this, read Chainsaw Man.
Oh, God. Yeah. Ugh.
I guess it's too late because we actually could have done that with Look Back.
Well, yeah, but Look Back isn't fucking shit.
No, but I'm saying for Look, we could have just reviewed Look Back instead of this series, but it's too late.
Right, yeah. Anyway, I don't have fucking anything else to say about fucking Build King, so why don't we go into the Q&A?
I am 10 billion% down for that. All right, first one is from T. Wolfwood. Couldn't Gin from Tokyo Shinobi Squad...
I think it was Gin, because it was Jim Naruto.
Yeah, couldn't Jim Naruto from Tokyo Shinobi Squad use his powers to create cheap and eco-friendly electricity for the local neighborhood of non-terrorists?
Well, maybe, but as we have seen in Red Sprite, that would have led to him becoming a slave. So I don't know if that would have been in his best interest.
Yeah, and also I want to just point out that sounds a lot like socialism, and we don't do that in the Tokyo Shinobi Squad.
Yeah, that's a little bit too globalist for Tokyo Shinobi Squad, I should say.
Oh, man. A Tokyo Shinobi Squad Red Sprite crossover.
Yeah, that would be great. I would love to see that.
Someone would be like, but they're immigrants. And be like, so? The series are actually very antithetical, I guess.
They are. It is kind of like the left-wing and right-wing version of very similar things. Because, you have electric powers in both. One is filled with pieces of shit weird racists, and the other one is leftist. So, yeah, pretty much. That's funny how that works out, huh?
What's this? Some sort of fascism comic?
Hey!
Title drop.
Our comic is called Fascism Comic.
There you go. Fasci and fascism. Next one is from Nitwit, aka Victor.
Hey, Victor.
What is the best way to tell a manga from an American comic book?
So I kind of thought about this for a bit. I mean, aside from the art style, but of course, that's changed a lot. When you go, series by series, obviously you have some Japanese series that look more like American comics and some American comics that look more like manga. But I think one of the big differences is that a lot of American comics, they start out with a guy with just impossible superpowers, and then they try and make it seem more relatable. Whereas with manga, it's more like, oh, here's a guy with a normal power, but because he's so fucking good at it, he can do, superpowers with it.
That's not bad. Mine would be if you can read it left to right or right to left.
Oh, God. Yeah, so my sister just bought her first manga ever. She walked into the store and asked what a popular one was, and then she called me and said, so I got this series. It's called Attacking the Titans.
Yeah.
They didn't have volumes 1 through 3, so I just got volume 4. And then she texted me, a half hour later, being like, why is it going front to back? Is this like the Torah?
Yeah. It has something to do with Judaism.
Yeah. Fuck, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So many Jewish allegory comics.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yep. Okay. Anyway, next question is from Xylon, who asks, what is your favorite Disney World park?
Well, I have not been to Disney World since I was a little kid. How about you, David?
That's the same. I went to the Magic Kingdom, and that was pretty good. Probably that or Epcot.
Nice. I don't know if I ever went to Epcot. The thing I mostly remember about my Disney World trip was the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, which for some reason I really liked, but in retrospect, it just seems really boring.
Yeah, it was okay. Nothing too special. They took out all the sexist parts of it, which is nice.
Oh, that's great. Hey.
Yeah.
Good for them. But yeah, moving on from that. Hey, David, how does it feel producing content as fast as a Shonen Jump mangaka?
Oh, God, I hate it. No. Definitely putting a lot of work to make it quicker. But yeah, making a weekly podcast is a challenge, but it's a lot of fun, very rewarding. And I'm looking forward to having that nice 2-week break where we're just making a bunch of content ahead of time, and then I can enjoy being in Switzerland.
This week is a little bit extra full because of that, but it's going to be all right.
Thick.
Extra thick.
Dummy thick week like me.
Oh, yeah.
Emphasis on the dummy.
Exactly. David's butt is stupid.
Speaking of dummy, though, I love the guy. We were playing this word association game where it's a game I came up with called the category game, where you have to you come up with a category and then you have to, from A to Z, name something associated with it. So, like, if you did animals, you would be like alpaca, beaver, cat, dog, etc. And we did vegetables, and we got to the letter K. And guess what he said?
Oh no, what did he say?
He said carrot. And we had to say, did you not know those words were spelled differently?
That's great.
Bless his heart.
Aww.
Sorry, we all have those moments. I learned when I was like 26 that Columbia was spelled differently.
Oh yeah, I think I always forget that.
Yeah, everybody does. All right, so anyway, the next question is from Mr. Davey on the Discord, aka David, aka it's me. If you could swap 2 Shonen Flop Pro tags, who would it be?
So, I kind of thought about this for a bit, and I think that I just can't get out of my head the switching Heidi from Hungry Joker and the bunny guy from Omega Doki Zoo.
Ooh, they're just both sufficient assholes.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like they'd weirdly fit in to those worlds, but it would be weird as fuck, which, I don't know, maybe that would make it better.
That's a good point. I actually didn't have an answer because I thought I'd just think of it on the spot because that'd be fun. I actually do think switch the protagonists of Red Sprite and Tokyo Shinobi Squad just to see what would happen.
Hell yeah! Oh man, that would be great. You got the Red Sprite guy trying to educate his like weird libertarian squad about the ethics of socialism, and then you have the Tokyo Shinobi Squad just joining the Nazis.
Yeah. He'd probably become like the main bad guy's lieutenant.
Here's what happened. At first they tried to make him like a slave, but he'd be like so strong and so cool that they'd just be like, shit, man, why don't you be Hitler? And he's like, yeah, I can be Hitler.
Yeah. And this is all a prequel to World War II.
Yeah.
There was a comic I was reading where the plot twist at the end was like one of the characters was actually Hitler.
What?
Yeah. Fuck. I think it was a Doom Patrol comic. And it turned out that like there was like a robot guy, and it turned out it was Hitler's brain in a robot.
That's amazing.
I'll have to ask Luke. I wonder if Luke knew. I'll be like, Luke, do you remember which was the Doom Patrol? One of the characters was secretly Hitler comic, and he'd be like, oh yes, let's make that for book club.
Do you remember the Justice League kind of movie where they went back in time to World War II?
Dude, we have definitely talked about that in the show.
Oh, the World War II one where they went back in time?
Where Hitler actually shows up. Yeah.
Frozen Hitler?
At the very end? Yeah, it's great.
It's the funniest thing ever where they're like, wait, but we still have another. And it's just Hitler frozen in a tank.
And I'm pretty sure that's the only time they actually show swastikas.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like,
oh, God. That was a really fun question, though. Thank you for asking. You're welcome.
Thank you, David.
No problem. All right. Our last question comes from Adam, who asks, what's a flop that you think would have been more fun to read as a train wreck in progress, aka week to week, instead of binging it after the fact? It does not need to be limited to what you would have covered on the show. I have an answer.
I do too. Is it going to be the same one?
I don't know. Is its abbreviation SS?
Yeah.
Speaking of Nazis.
3, 2, 1.
Stealth Symphony. Oh my God. To talk about that ending in real time with people would have been the best shit fucking ever.
I know. Because, like, the shit that happens is just so crazy. I could just imagine reading it and being like, oh, what's this boring, dumbass comic gonna do now? Whoa, what?
Right? And he just dies at the end.
They go to the real world.
They straight up go to Japan.
Same.
The one lady was already from Japan, and, like, it was like a minor detail.
Oh my God, yeah, you're right, I forgot.
The ninja lady was like, oh, I got somehow isekai'd into this world.
as evident by the fact that I'm a ninja. God, Stealth Symphony.
It's like, wasn't there something in Hunter x Hunter where they had to like recreate a Japanese dish and the ninja dude was like, bruh.
Yeah.
That was part of the Hunter exam.
Yeah. Look, Stealth Symphony is still a flop, but it does kick ass. You know, like, it is an extremely flawed series that kind of kicks ass at various points.
Yeah. I mean, it's got definitely one of the best writers, and he just, like, fucking couldn't handle weekly manga.
We talk about Stealth Symphony all the time because it's so weird how a series can simultaneously have moments that are really good and just the most boring dreck you have ever read.
Yeah, I think we called it a flop, right?
Yeah, and it should be. It was a flop. But
my God, that ending.
That ending kicked ass. Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else?
I love you.
Oh, thank you. I love you too. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Shonen Flop. If you'd like to hear more, check us out at shonenflop.com. Follow us on Twitter at ShonenFlopcast. We're also on YouTube with Shonen Flop. Join our Discord. It's building up. It's a great little community. We would love to have you. And if there's nothing else, David, say it.
Keep on flopping, floppers.
Yeah, bye.
Oh, that was a silly one. Oh, God.